Hi everyone, just Mr. Karam here. I'm here starting a collection of videos for my students, or really anyone who is interested in learning more about music and about the theory of music and how it works. So I'm starting with this video today, and there will be more videos as we go through the year and through kind of just time. So you can find these videos on my YouTube channel at Kyle Karam, or on the Seymour High School Choir's website, which is seymourhschoirs.weebly.com, and Weebly is Weebly, Weebly.com. So check that out. There's going to be a bunch of videos on there, but I wanted to start out today with treble clef, and we'll move into bass clef, grand staff, and we'll kind of build upon these skills. So these videos are for sort of review purposes. All of these concepts either already have been taught in class or will be taught in class. I want to make that very clear, that these videos are for a student who may be at home in the evening and is trying to practice or study for their final exam, and they may need some extra help. Well, this video is for them. So without further ado, let's get into today's lesson, which is treble clef. So I'm going to have my sort of handy dandy clipboard here with the lessons, and I'm going to kind of show you how to do that as we go. Okay, so we got treble clef up here. This is the lesson today. This is the first video lesson of the sort of series. So when we're looking at a sheet of music and we're trying to decipher it, we're trying to look at different vocal lines, right? We're trying to determine what we're supposed to sing. If you look at this, it's a beautiful piece called Black is the Color of My True Love's Hair. You can see up here there's a vocal line. There's another vocal line. So we're going to kind of go over what to expect sort of on there, and how to recreate the treble clef. So when we're looking at a sheet of music and we're looking at a music staff, the first thing we have to do is draw 5 lines, but I'm really picky about how these 5 lines go. They have to be running horizontal, they have to be parallel, and they have to be evenly spaced. Okay, so let's start out with that. So I'm going to start drawing 1, 2, 3, and I'll put it up here, 4, and 5. Now these lines are not going to be absolutely perfect because I'm human, but if you did this on a test or the final exam or whatever, that is 5 out of 5 points for that example. Okay, so we start out with 5 horizontal, parallel, evenly spaced lines, and I see that there's a couple little flaws in here, you know, but again, no big deal. We're all humans, if you know. So this would be 5 out of 5. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is we have to draw the actual treble clef. Okay, so there are a few ways to do this, and let me grab a quick other sheet of paper so I can show you a couple ways to actually draw the treble clef. All right. The treble clef is that swirly looking thing in a lot of our music, and that tells us where to find C, and if we're singing higher or lower. So the treble clef is usually reserved for higher sounding instruments, and as well as the female voices, and then tenors. But tenors, you take the treble clef and you sing it down 1 octave. Okay, so we'll get into that. So this is the treble clef. Treble clef again. Now the way that I teach this is simple. It's JP6. If you can remember, JP6, you can draw the treble clef. And here's what I mean by that. We start out with a J, and I'll do it over here. Nice long J, nice tall J. Let's put a P at the top of that, and then attached to the P, we're going to put a 6. Boom. There's your treble clef. Okay, again, not absolutely perfect, but if you did this, that is 100% on this one example. So let's try that again. Nice tall J, add the P up top, circle it around for a 6. There you go. Okay, I personally, and I'm able to do this in like 2 swoops. So get some practice with this at home. Draw this like at least 5 times, really good. Okay, you come over here, and then I do this top part in 1 swoop. That's my treble clef. I know friends that can do this in 1 shot. Now let me see if I can do this. Yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, so all of these, again, are acceptable versions of this. There is no swirl in the middle. So if we go up here, let's say I drew this one, and I come over here, and I do this, that does not count. Okay, that does not count. So those are 4 good examples of what you can do on your paper, but let's keep going. Okay, so now I'm going to take the example we have of the treble clef right here, and I'm going to put it right here on the far left-hand side of this example of our staff, is what it's called. J P 6. Okay, and I had a little hiccup at the top, but you know what? I would forgive you if you did that, so please forgive me. Okay, so again, we don't do all this crazy swirl in here. Just leave it 1. Okay, this little tail has to come up, through, and down, but no further. Okay, then we have to close these brackets off. Okay, we got to put a bar line here, and we got to go to the other end and put a bar line right there. Okay, now you have set yourself up for a successful treble clef. Okay, so we've got 5 lines, our treble clef itself, and our 2 bar lines. So this is 8 points as it stands. However, we're not done. In fact, the majority of the points don't come from setting it up. It comes from the note names. Every note has a name, and it's named simply a letter, and those letters are the musical alphabet. But the musical alphabet is not the normal alphabet, A through Z. The normal alphabet is A through G. Okay, that's the musical alphabet. So let's go down here, and I'm going to do this in pen now. So actually, you know what? I'll keep going with the Sharpie because I think the pen is going to be harder to see on the screen. So we start out at this bottom line. Now I'm going to tell you, I will just gift this to you. This bottom line is the note name E, as an elephant. Make sure that's there. That's E as an elephant. So please make it very clear that you know that is E. Okay. Then, so every note either falls on either a line or it falls on a space. So we have E. If we're going, if we go back to kindergarten and we go through the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F is now on the space, or in the space. That's F. Yeah, I'm glad I'm doing that with a Sharpie. Okay, so then A, B, C, D, E, and F, and now we're on this line, which is G. That's the line G. Okay. So now, we're at a little trouble spot because we've got E, F, G. So that space would say, oh, that's H, but we don't go to H. H does not exist in the normal musical alphabet. Okay, at least for our purposes here. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then, oh, I'm done. No, we're not quite done, because what happens is that G, once we reach G, it comes back to A. So whenever we're counting note names, it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc., etc., and it goes, it's essentially infinite. Okay, so we have then here is the note A. Okay. we can keep going with this then. E, F, G, A, and now we're kind of home free because now we just start the alphabet. A, then is the line. Make sure that we're always going line, space, line, space, line, space, da, da, da. Here's A. The next line up is B. Then we go to the next space. It's C. C, then we have D, like dolphin. And the top line here, of course, is E. So we started with an E, and we're going to end with an E. Okay? Actually, false. We're going to go one more. Here's the E, and then up at this top line is F. Okay? So now we have all of our, this is the treble clef. This, if I said draw the treble clef on a quiz, this is what I'm talking about. Okay? So we have E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. Perfect. But I want you to come up with some sayings to help you remember the lines and the spaces. So we've got, here's what I've got for the lines. Okay? And your colleagues, your peers might have other things in mind too, which is great. But here's some of my favorites. Every good boy deserves fudge. Even George Bush drives fast. There's a couple of my good ones. Yeah, so there are more out there. Your friends and colleagues, Carla might have some ideas as well. And then spaces, if you just read it, conveniently enough, it's face in the space. F-A-C-E. Face in the space. I mean, it doesn't really get any easier than that. So every good boy deserves fudge, and face in the space, those are all going upward. Okay, some people have the tendency to want to go downward with these. That's not the case. It is upward. Okay, so this right here is exactly what I would expect if I put on a quiz. Draw the treble clef. Okay, so it's 8 points for the setup, which is the 5 lines, the treble clef itself, and then the 2 bar lines, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points for the note names. So the note names are the majority of the points, but you still get some points for doing the setup. Okay, so the next lesson after this is the bass clef. Check that out on the page in my channel. And then after that, we will learn how to put both of these things together for what we call the grand staff. So cool. Hope this helps. Please keep reviewing for all of your stuff, and let me know if you have any questions. See you guys. Bye.